Last week, we talked about sharing, where you can, create links which can be tracked. And we also talked about how you can create icons as well and your own custom landing pages. But this week, we're going to go further and we're going to talk about the referral mechanism itself, right? So this is where the link will be tracked and it will also be, you can also add scores and so on, right? So let's talk about referrals. So our goal today is, as usual, to talk about sharing and referrals. We focus today on just referrals for your chatbot. And all the words are in Smojo Chat Share. So you need to include that at the top of your chatbot before you can use any of these words. Okay. So again, just to recap, the difference between sharing and referrals. Sharing is basically sharing a simple link or some data with someone else. That's what we covered in part 1. We also covered the icons and how to create these social media icons and so on, so that you can share your chatbot over social media. We also covered things like landing pages as well last week. Today we want to talk about referrals, and referrals are about tracking the shared link and also making rewards. So there are two different aspects to it. The first is to track the shared link. So once a link has been created and shared, how do you know whether the person who received that shared link has actually clicked on the chatbot to actually view something? And how do you assign, let's say, certain milestones like, rewards and so on, right? So this is what we'll cover in part 2 of, which is this class, okay? The referrals part does need the sharing mechanisms that we discussed last week, right? So you need to actually look through the video or the notes from last week and actually understand it thoroughly before you can understand what's happening today. Okay, so there are two parts to referrals and scores. The first part is store the referrals and scores, and second part is just to retrieve or to get the referrals and scores. Okay, so again, you've got a chatbot and there are some social media icons, for example, and you are sharing the chatbot through either share URL or using a share item kind of URL that's generated. Remember, the share URL is just a simple URL which is trackable. The share item is trackable, and you can add some data into it for your landing pages. Okay, so know the difference. Now, once the other chatbot, let's say this shared URL is then clicked on through social media, or let's say through through people sharing the link, all right? When the other person clicks on the shared URL, there are two words that you want to use. The first is called refer, and what refer does is to link these two people. It links the referrer with the person who received the URL. Okay, it makes a link between them in our database. The other thing that you can also do is to add a score to the person clicking on the link itself, right? So that you can either use refer to link the refer and the person being referred to, all right, to make the connection between them, and you use add score to assign a score at any time, at any place. Okay, so the word refer should only be used just once in the welcome or in one of the landing pages. Okay, but add score you can use anywhere in your chatbot after that, after you use the refer. Okay. Now, both of these words will actually store data in our referral database, in the Tokobot referral database. There's a special database just to store all these links and all these information. Okay. So just to recap, you first use share URL or share item along with the landing pages and so on to create a shareable link or URL. And you use the word refer anywhere in your welcome or landing pages, and this links the referrer to the person actually clicking on the link itself. The word refer doesn't have any arguments, and it's got no output either. Just put the word refer. Okay. There's a second word called add score, which is optional, and you can actually use it to assign a score to a person. Right. So it's just a number, then you call add score, and this number n must be an integer. All right. And that score is assigned a date and a score for that user. And the score is also can be accessed from the person being from the person who makes the referral. I'll explain this shortly. Okay. All right. So now you've seen how to create the referral and how to add the score is using the words refer and add score. So both these words are basically writing to the referral database. But you also want to read from the referral database. And the way to do that, there are three words that we can use. The first word is called total referrals. And what that gives you, total referrals has got no inputs, and it will give you a number, all right, from 0 to whatever else it is, right? And it tells you how many people, how many unique people this person has made a referral to, okay? So if, let's say, for example, someone clicks on the same link twice, that still counts as just one referral, not two, right? Then there is the word called total score. Total score calculates how many, the total score that you have for this person, for this current user. So for example, let's say you add, let's say he did one action, that score was 10, another action, the score was 20, the total score will be 30. Okay, but the word total score also needs time. Okay, it only calculates the input. The first input is time, and it will then tell you what is the total score after that time. Okay, and last of all, the last word you want to use is total ref score, which is the total referral score. In other words, this is a total score not from the person himself, but from everybody else whom he referred. So let's say, for example, if I make a referral to 5 people and they have got collectively a score of, let's say, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, then the total will be 50. Okay, so I can have 0 scores, but as long as the people I refer to have got scores, that would count. All right, so these are the 5 words you would use in the referral mechanisms. And with these 5 words, you can implement all kinds of referral mechanisms. You can implement the simple sharing. Obviously, you can do things like altruistic referrals. You can do what is it called again? The milestone type referrals. All kinds of referrals can be, all kinds of referral strategies can be implemented using this mechanism, using these 5 words, plus of course the sharing mechanisms that we discussed last week. All right, so the 3 words in detail would be, first of all, total referrals, and this just gives you the number of referrals made by this user. You can use this word anywhere in your chatbot. Okay, so unlike the word refer, which should only be used in your welcome or landing pages, you can use total referrals anywhere in your chatbot. Right, total score requires a time, and this adds the score of this current user after the given time. All right, so all the scores that were before the given time, you don't have, it will not add up. And this is quite useful for doing things like testing and other stuff, and then you want to just reset the scores. Okay, the total referral doesn't have this mechanism, but there is a way to do some. There is a mechanism for testing. I'll show it to you in the demo. Thirdly, there is total ref score, which adds the scores of this user's referrals made after the given time. Okay, not his score, only the people that he made the referral to. All right, if you want to get all the scores, just set the time to 0 and you'll get all the scores. All right, as usual, the documentation is in Smojo doc. Right, so just call doc space smojo/chat/share, and you can get the detailed documentation along with sample code as well. So I'm going to do everything from scratch, so it's simpler for you to see this from start to finish. Okay. So I'm just downloading the CU 101. I'm going to edit this as usual. Just delete all this other stuff. Okay, let's rename this to our share. Okay. And we'll create a welcome word. Okay. So this is my basic welcome. I'll just save that. And let's go to the main again. And here, I'm going to call this Smolio, right? Because you can call it, you can use Terra, but we are going to move on to using Smolio/chat. So it's more consistent. And share. And our topic was share.m. And the starting init would be on the welcome message. Okay. I'm going to just save that and publish it, and we'll test it out. Okay, looks good. So if you do this, you should say something like IDK, right? That's good. All right, so our first step is to create a shared link. Okay, so I'll create a simple shared link. And if you recall, your shared link. Shared link, okay. And the word we want to use is just share URL, okay. And what we'll do is we'll make this into a clickable link, so it's easy for us to see. I'll tell you what, I'll just leave it as it is, okay. And we'll just have a go at it. Publish. All right, so now when we do anything here, all right, it gives us this shared link here that we can click on, and it opens up a new page like this, okay? So far, so good, and it doesn't tell us anything so far. There's no referrals, nothing at all. Just a simple shared link. So just give me a second. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to perhaps create a simple landing page. Right. And if you recall, landing pages need a landing page, right? Right. It's got to be called landing page. It needs to have that exact same name. And I can just say something simple. You are in the landing page. Okay. And I could use a queue, or I could use this. It's the same thing. Queue is multi-line. Okay, so let's just test this again. Right. Click the link, and it should say you are in the landing page, right? Where else here it says welcome to bot store. All right. Now I want to make a referral. So like I said, you need to use the word called refer anywhere in your welcome page or on your landing page, depending on where you want to make the referral. Okay, so it makes more sense, honestly, to do it here. Right, so I will just put it like that. All right, but because now the problem with refer, it's not really a problem, it's actually a security feature. If let's say I create a link and then I click on the link myself, so the same person creates the link and the same person actually clicks on the link, all right, the word refer will check and see whether they are the same person or not. If they are the same person, it will reject the referral and it won't make the referral. Okay, but that's in other words, that's useful because we don't want people to create links and then click on the same link, right? So they refer themselves, because that's bad for milestones, it's bad for other stuff. So, but at the same time, when we develop chatbots, we want to test out these chatbots easily. We want to make it so that when we click on our links, at least we can be sure that these links are being we can test up all our code and everything else, right? So in order to do that, we do two things. The first one is just to rename the bot, okay? Because all the data is stored on a bot level, bot type level. So I'm going to call it bot dev instead, okay? And here, instead of refer, I put test ref. Sorry, I can't recall if it's test refer or refer test, right? So let's look at this Mojo docs Mojo /chat share. Okay, this. And if we go down, we should see something. Okay, it's called refer test. So refer test and refer are exactly the same, except that refer will reject the referrals if the referrer and the recipient share the same ID. Okay, so in this internal check there, and we'll check and see if it's in. So we want to use refer test. Right, so go out here, put refer -test. But remember, when you are going to deploy your bot, don't use refer test, use refer. Okay, but because we are testing and developing, we use refer test here. Okay, I'm going to save this, and I'm going to launch, and I call it bot dev so that the referrals won't interfere with my actual chatbot. Okay, you can call it anything else you like. All right, so now I've got a new chatbot really, and it's called bot dev, and I go out there. All right, and I want to create a referral link. Okay, now if I click on this link now, and it goes to the new system, it goes here, and it also should activate the referrals. In other words, I'm actually referring myself, so I'm linked to myself. Okay, and you also know that the other word to then test out how many referrals do I have. All right, so to do that, let's go to doc, and we know that the word was called total referrals. I've got three words we're going to use. Total referrals. So let's just copy this one. So total referrals will just give me the number. All right, I can use it anywhere in my chatbot. Right, so I go back here. Let's say I have a new template rule. If I say referrals, refs or refs, right, it will tell me you have right. So all this does is if I type in refs in my chatbot, it will just tell me the number of referrals I have. Okay, so let's go back here, publish this thing. I'll just close this up now. All right, so now if I type refs, okay, you can see here, you can see that it says you have made one referral. All right, because I've referred myself. Okay, if you change this, let's say to bot, for example, and you publish it, okay, and you rerun this, you see ref, it should say 0, right? Because for the bot, for the chatbot called bot, I've not made any referrals yet, so it's 0. But for the chatbot called what's it called, a bot dev, I made one referral. Okay, so you can see it's actually split by chatbots, which is what you want. Okay, now how about adding a score? So let's say, for example, I say if I type in the word lottery or lucky, right? I want to do a few things. I want to say, what is it called? Let's say here, if I do something, you can do this anywhere you want, but let's put it out here instead on the landing page. So if I come to the landing page, immediately I want to assign to my referrer, the person I referred to, 5 points. So I say 10, 10 points, not 5 points. 10 add score. You can use add score anywhere in your chatbot. It will add to your own scores. Okay. So this is where you want to reward the user who clicked 10 points, but also the referrer won't get 10 points immediately for himself, but he will get the referral score of 10 points. Okay. All right. So now if I want to check this, okay, I say Q score. All right. Now your score is, or you have now 0 total. Now, if there are two possibilities. You can check your own score, or you can check the referral score, right? So usually what you want to do is, for the milestone type systems, you want to check for the referral score, not your own score, right? And you can say, make more referrals, right? 200 points, something like that, right? So let's try this. So what happens is, only if I say type score now, I should say 0, right? Because I've not made this change here. I've not shared a link where the score is going to be added. All right, so let's click on publish first. And go out here. Now, if I type score now, it should say you have 0 points. Okay, and that's correct, right? Because I've not made any referrals and I only referred it to myself. Okay, so, and here now I want to say, okay, look, I want to create a link now. I'm going to click this now. As soon as I click this, I'm going to refer myself, and I'm going to automatically add 10 points. Okay, so let's try that. I'll click on that. Now, if I type here, so I made the referral now already, and this person, well, it's me as well, because it's a test, right, has gained 10 points, and I've also gained 10 points. So if I type score now, it should say you have 10 points. Okay, 10 points. All right. If I click on this link again, and if I try that, it will say you have 20 points. Okay, and so on. So each time this is clicked, the referral link is clicked, and the person actually receives something, then the scores are added. All right. Now, this is fairly basic functionality. In maybe over the course of time, we'll add also other words for you to check and see whether this person and that person have made a referral already, and only add the scores if you what is it called, if the person is not already being referred. It's a new referral, for example. Okay, so we'll add more functionality for this system for now, but for today we're just going to discuss these 5 different ways of doing things. Now, the other thing that you can do is, instead of changing this, you can set a time to it. So let's say I want to set check for everything after 2022, let's say January, which is number 1, and day 1, and YMDH. So H is for hours, and you set the hour to, let's say, 0. Okay. And the times here are all universal time coordinates, UTC. It's not Singapore time. It's not Indonesian time, for example. It is GMT or UTC. All right. So this would check and see that all the scores after January the 1st at 0100 UTC of this year. All right. So let's just try this. Just close all this up. If I try score again, it should say the same thing because I've just made 20 points just now only. Okay. But if I say sometime in the future, let's say 12th, that means December this year, if I publish that, I retype the score, it should say you have 0 points because there are no points. All the points I made before December this year. Okay. So the other thing is that I can check my own score as well. So let's say own score. So I'll just say something like this. Let me remove this so I can get the. If you want to say, for example, 30 days ago, right? So it's 30 days ago, right? So that will check all the scores just 30 days prior to the person clicking this thing, right? It may be useful in some cases, or you can use something like this, or you can just try 0, right? So let's say now you want to check his own score, then the word is your score, your is this, all right? Now I can say here, give it a different points, call it points. All right, and I can just do this, publish it. And get points. It will be the same number because I'm referring myself, right? Because this is a test type referral, and that's going to be allowed, right? Refer test. When you want to deploy your chatbot out in the real world, you need to remove this, and then you need to also change it back to the actual bot that you want to share. Okay. And then you can test all of your features out. So test it on the dev, but then deploy it onto bot. Right, so if I do something like points, you'd say 0 and score 0, which is also correct. All right. Okay, let's try something out here. Let's say, Chris, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to paste this link now into the chat. Okay, and can all of you just click on the link? Let me just oops. Okay, can all of you click on this link? Can you see it in the group chat? All right, and as you click it, my scores will start to increase. Sorry. Yeah, there now I've got 10 points here. See, so at least one of you did it. Okay. Can someone else click it as well? Yeah, at least 4 of you have clicked it, and I've got 40 points right now. All right, now here is where you will see a difference between your points and your score. Right. Oh. All right. So my personal score is 0 because I have not done anything. I'm not clicked on a landing page, and you have not sent me, basically, you've not sent me a link as well. But can you see my points now for the referral points? Let me just make it more clearer so it's clearer, right? So let's call this or call it score, and this one points. Okay, you have, I'll say 30 days ago, you have a referral. points. Okay. Let me slide clearer. Let's publish this. All right, so we can click on, see, if I say points, that's my personal points, it should be 0. And my score would be my referral points, which is 5 of you have clicked it. And if I click on the number of referrals, it should say, sorry. What's the code again? Sorry. Does it say refs? Yeah, it is refs. Yeah, you have made 4 referrals. Okay. All right. So it's 4 referrals, but 50 points because one of you clicked twice. Okay. So it depends on how you want to make this mechanism work. All right. Whether it's by referrals or by points. Okay. Like I said, we'll put some mechanisms later on also to limit a person making more than one what is it called? Or clicking the link more than once, and then for incurring the system more than once as well, incurring more points spuriously by accident. Okay, so that's all I have for you for today. And I hope this demo shows you exactly what to do. You can easily make altruistic referral, right, by just assigning the points. So altruistic referral simply means that each time the person receives something here, just add the score, his score, okay? And you don't really talk about your own points, right? He can see his own points. You don't talk about referral points. But on the other hand, if you want to have a mutual kind of thing, you can have this system, and you can also have, or you can have using some other means, right, where when he clicks, he is rewarded and you are rewarded as well. So you're using the total ref score instead, right? And last of all, if you want to make milestones, you can also just calculate the total amount of reference scores, or you can calculate the number of total referrals to actually use milestones, either on the number of referrals or on the number of points that have been assigned. Right? Now, you can also do something like this right now. So let's say, for example, I want to say, okay, look, I only add 10 if this person doesn't have points on this chatbot. Okay, so how do I do that? So that's not so hard. So you check and see, okay, you can say, I check all time my total score. That's my personal score, the person's score. If it is bigger than 0, right, I exit. Right, or let's say it's less than equals 0, then you add the 10 scores. Right, so this would prevent the person from, if he clicks the link more than once, all right, he only gets 10 added just once, right? Because I'm checking the total score. If it's 0, then only do I add points. If it's more than 0, I don't add anything at all. Right, so it actually is flexible enough for you to do your own